Hey guys, first of all, to all my amazing American followers, for which there are many, and for whom I am truly grateful, happy Thanksgiving Day. And may you give thanks. It's a good thing to do. Gratitude is all encompassing. In fact, I'm going to do a little American theme for all people, but particularly our American friends, and remind them a couple of interesting things about taxes and taxation, the rental extractors, the tertiary extractors, and of course the tax extracting control structures. 3rd of October 1913. Wilson, President Woodrow Wilson, he signed the first tax law into the books and created what would become what's known as the first modern U.S. income tax. That's right. Woodrow Wilson. Interesting year, 1913. For those that know their history and who've seen my YouTubes on Jekyll Island, it was a similar year to the year of the great establishment of the Federal Reserve. Coincidence, I'm sure. Anyway, that taxation was set at a base tax rate. That means the ordinary Joe paid 1%. That's right, 1%. The very highest tax, the maximal tax you faced was 7%, and it applied to individuals earning $500,000 per year. $500,000 per year. Now, that's a reasonable amount today. Just to give you an idea of what it was then, in current dollar values, that would be 12.6 million. So, guys, you're only going to face 7% if you're earning 12.6 bar a year, which is, a few of us might be safe for a while yet. Anyway, the key point is 1% was your base tax rate. Individuals earning less than $3,000, which by the way is $75,000 a year, which would be quite a lot of your secretaries, firemen, and even quite a few professional people, they were exempt from paying tax entirely. So just think about your new tax rates. A lot of talk about Trump's doing all of this exciting new stuff, and he's going to fix the tax, and it's going to be wholesale and new and fandango, brilliant and awesome. How about you just go back to what you originally introduced way back then? Everyone below 76 grand pays nothing. What's the odds of that? Not so big. How about everyone else pays 1% and only those earning 12.6 million pay 7%? In other words, there was no income tax before that, and that little year of 1913 when a little Federal Reserve suddenly popped up, and then there was the blood-sucking parasite that started something that was meant to be small and non-noticeable and light and just to sit quietly in the corner as a little mouse just nibbling the slightest corner of your cheese, ended up stealing the whole enchilada. How did that happen? Anyway, pressing on. Those major changes to tax law were pretty simple in those days, and in fact taxes were actually cut. Yes, you heard that. During the 20s they were cut, and that led to a boom, unsurprisingly. One way to get out of a really miserable economy post-World War One was tax cuts, and the roaring 20s were born, so much so that it led to a boom, and that led right up into 1929, and what subsequently unrolled was the Great Depression. So yeah, it was pretty simple in those days. The documents used to be about 16 pages big. Today, tax documents are over 400 pages deep and exceedingly complex. The biggest lie in the world is a temporary tax. The biggest lie in the world was a temporary tax. The other thing to think about when you think about taxes is that taxes were put up to fight wars. So here we have Federal Reserve year, introduction of taxes, increased blood sucking by the parasites so that mass murder can take place over some perceived geographical differences between nations. So it's an interesting combination, taxation, central banking, war, and how it hits your pocket. Very, very interesting. So a couple of thoughts for you to bear in mind there. Never mind, that's the income tax. That's one of a whole myriad of taxes which have subsequently since been introduced, like sales taxes, VATs, which you pay on virtually everything you buy. And then there's, of course, capital gains tax. If you happen to invest smartly, you should be punished, therefore. No good, smart deed in terms of making you financially independent and able to run your own affairs and not be on burden on state. No good deed such as that should go unpunished without a capital gains tax. And then, of course, there's inheritance tax. Once you've paid all your taxes and it belongs to you, and you're done paying and you finally got your little bit of cheese after a horde of rodents of all varieties have hoovered up most of it, when you leave that little wedge back to your nearest and dearest, actually, that's a good luck event for them, and they should be taxed for that. Tell you how I feel about that. I cursed the day they took away our liberty and began taxing. And some of you might say, "Oh, well, we've got to pay for roads, we've got to pay for this, we've got to pay for that, we've got to pay for that." Just a simple sales tax, if there was such a thing, would more than cover most things and would keep economic activity going. And in fact, taxation almost goes so far as to hinder business development. The amount of energy expended in reducing tax, giving jobs and work to people that actually aren't particularly supportive, unnecessarily amount of stimulus to the legal and chartered accounting professions, which actually are like cricket scorers. They should never be allowed onto the field to play the game. They should be kept in the stands just to keep the score. The real value adders should be allowed to swing the bat. But anyway, enough of that. I've upset the lawyers and accountants now. But anyway, happy Thanksgiving Day. And if you're not in the USA, well, just have a great run into your weekend anyway. And think about the history of taxes and how they were originally introduced and how it seemed to coincide with all these other coincidences that occurred. And with that, I'll love you and leave you. Oh, one other thing. This is the Reset Sniper. Don't forget to subscribe. Your politics, your Brexit, your everything economic, macroeconomic. Looking always forward to get some decent and interesting guests as well in the future. Remember that. And our separate brands, the Market Sniper for the methodology, are around, and the Crypto Sniper for the very, very interesting and fast-growing crypto market. If you're interested in finding out more, how to engage with us on any of those, go to the website, www.themarketsniper.com for now. And thank you for listening and hope you enjoy. And thank you for all the support I've received this year. It's getting to that Christmas season, and I want to say thank you for all the growth that's been led, and cheers for all your support in the comments. We have some of the best comment sections, some of the wisest minds, and some of the least childish, churlish aspects that often go with a YouTube comments role, and that I thank you for. Clearly we're attracting the right kind of people. So God bless you all. Pay less tax.